I think it's a little bit misleading to tell students that, if they do these particular subjects, they're guaranteed some kind of a job, because that's not always the case at all, particularly in this sort of economic climate.
There's no guarantees in the employment stakes.
Forget this whole idea of, the transition from school to work, that isn't necessarily the case anymore, that there might be a lot of other steps they have to go through now to find a job.
There will be periods in your lives and in our lives where you will be unemployed.
When I finished in the Defence Force, I did some damage to my back, and I had to go on the welfare system for 7 years, and that was really, really difficult.
I think it's very easy to feel down when you're knocked back for job positions, time and time again.
It really zaps your self-esteem, and you feel like you're worthless, and it's psychologically what it does to you, can destroy you.
The old adage used to be, if you work really hard, there'll be a job. But I think we have to tell students that that's not the case anymore, that there's a lot of competition out there, that just because they go to school and then go to university doesn't guarantee they're going to get a job. Or if they do get a job, it might only be like a casual job or a part-time job or an internship where they don't even get paid at all.
When it comes to contract work and when it comes to casual work, I don't like it.
There is a lot of unscrupulous employers out there that will use casual employment, for example, and it's quite mercenary. And what do I mean by that is that, take a McDonald's, for example. As you get older, your hours get less and less. Why? Because they then don't have to pay as much for someone who's younger. Now, in having that sort of casual employment, or not knowing when you're going to be called in, I think is really a bit demeaning.
And I just think it makes you feel better within yourself if you know that your job's, as long as you're doing a good job, that your job's there for the rest of your life, and you don't have to wake up tomorrow knowing that you're going to show up at work and your job may not be there.
The other worry with that is if you have loans, and in time to come you have some big loans to take out, if you don't have the guarantee of work, well then how do you fulfil your loans?
I think that just honesty in the schools, being realistic about the future, that you are going to have your ups and downs through life, and at times difficult things are going to be thrown at you during your life cycle, and it's to take those knocks and once again just bounce straight back up.
I think many people set out starting to have one career pathway or one choice that they want to do when they finish school and have that as a lifelong career. But I think the nature of the economy at the moment and the nature of the world in itself means that throughout your employment trajectory you will have periods where you're doing different things. I think the days where people did the same job all of their life are long gone.
I believe it's important that it's talked about. Everyone hopes that they probably wouldn't be in that situation, but the reality is that people will be faced with being unemployed. A lot of people will face that as something that might happen in their lives, and I think it's important that they know how to deal with that and that they know about the services that they might be able to access. So yeah, I think it does need to be discussed.
I think it would be great if students got a feel for some real life experiences. So if someone who might have been unemployed in the past come into schools and classrooms and taught them how they got to where they are today.
The sort of skills we need to equip them with is sort of being a bit more realistic about the workforce, and also to be more entrepreneurial. I think it's really important for students to be able to realise that if they can't find a job, that they might be able to create some jobs, but they don't know how to do that unless we give them some skills and tell them how to take risks, learn how to manage business loans, how to apply for credit, how to apply for grants.
How do we network? How do we get to employers? How do we advertise ourselves in the marketplace? Because that's what we're actually having to do. And on the downtime, we need to have in place strategies to enable that to happen.
Try and pick up short courses, whether that's at TAFE or uni, just so people can see that you're still active. And I think one of the most other important things to do is when you're in that sort of situation is try and do some sort of fitness. Right, so try and keep yourself out there socially, because if you get in that sort of situation, what you do is you withdraw, and people will move away from you and you become a little bit toxic, and then you get into that whole cycle, and that's not where you want to be.
Exercise, eating well, how to look for hidden jobs, because there might be jobs that they might be able to find that aren't necessarily advertised, how to network. I think networking is really important, and we don't teach students that it's often the networking rather than what they know that often gets them a job.
Well, you know, we have this great thing in Australia, it's called the Future Fund, and I think it should be investing into our young kids 2 or 3% of that Future Fund. So you can let that go viral if you like. Because you guys are our future, and it's really, really important to me that you get a head start in life. So, and I think it's not just the teachers, it comes down to the parliamentarians as well. Okay, they need to invest. You know, you guys are priceless, and they need to realise that you are the future. And I just believe that if we invest the right amount of money in you and mentor you in the right direction, then look, what this country can achieve in the next 20 years is just will be phenomenal.